up, you guys? This is Rob from Mega Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're gonna have a chat about Anthem's public demo, how it compared to the VIP demo, and how both demos are going to stack up to the actual game at launch. So, without ado, let's go ahead and rewind to last week to the VIP demo, also known as 95% loading screen time. Now, as many of you guys know, that was definitely the prevalent issue that a lot of players were facing during the demo, where you would literally wait for everything to load up to the 95% points, and you would just sit there. And now, out of good faith, you were like, okay, let's see what happens. Maybe we'll wait 1 minute, maybe we'll wait 2 minutes, and by the third minute, you're like, you've stolen 3 minutes of my life, Anthem, go fuck yourself. And it just drove you absolutely insane. A lot of players were experiencing this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's something that I ran into about 60% of the time. It like crushed my soul, but it's not as soul crushing as what I like to consider the icing on top of all of that, is when you would go ahead and close out the game and restart it up back up. You could potentially run into a server connection issue. Now, they said that there were enough servers for everybody, you know, that's just what, you know, they came out with. However, what they were saying is, for some reason, the information that was being sent was almost DDoSing the servers. I don't really know all of the technical stuff, but I guess there was some sort of issue on their end. Not to mention all of the times where you were actually playing in the game, so you got in, everything was good, you got past the loading screen limbo of death, and you get into the game, and then the game crashes out completely, and you're like, what is going on? And you have to try to log back into game, into like one of the free plays so that you could get the loot that you had lost, and it was just all kinds of painful. So let's just say that the VIP demo was not necessarily their crowning achievement. However, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Great job, Bioware, because the public demo, I have not experienced a single loading screen bug, and yesterday I actually played for 9 hours straight on stream, a couple hours off stream. Today I played 2 hours on stream and a couple more hours off stream, and I did not run into any of those whatsoever. I also didn't run into any of the server connection issues, so I'm definitely super duper happy about that, and that improved the gameplay experience so freaking much. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I did run into a couple hard crashes where legitimately I would just be booted out of the game completely and have to restart it up from scratch, but I only ran into 3 of those over a 9-hour span yesterday, and today I haven't run into any of those whatsoever. Now, of course, that's not something that you want to see in the actual live game itself. I'm hoping that they get that fixed, because if I'm putting down some money on it, which, you know, just spoiler alert, I'm gonna do, just letting you know that needs to not happen. Okay, thanks. Moving along from that, I do have actually a bit of some downgrade news. So while all of those were fixed, the one issue that I did tend to run into with the public demo is the fact that there seemed to be a bit of a rubber banding issue. Now, this ranged from completely playable rubber banding, where, you know, it would just be a little bit of a stutter, like you'd try to like hit a button and it would not go all the way, or you'd have to kind of mash a button twice to get the responsiveness from the actual game itself, to like completely unplayable. You're flying here and then you're reverting back and then you're shooting forward. That was definitely something. I didn't run into the big rubber banding as much as I did the little rubber banding, but it was just those moments where you're like, the game seems completely and utterly fine, and you're running around as your Colossus and you're getting shot and you're like, shield up! And you're like, why isn't my shield going up? And you're like, oh no, I'm dead. Or you're running around as your interceptor, you're doing all your flips and you're taking out turrets, then you're like, okay, health is getting low, let's toss on that ultimate, and you're like, ultimate? No, I'm just dead. So that's definitely one of the issues that we're running into. I went ahead and did a bit of sleuthing on the actual situation, because I thought that it might be a connection issue between players, but their servers are actually not peer-to-peer. It is dedicated servers. So the only thing that I could really think of was the fact that, of course, the demo is public, so a lot of people are rushing in to try out Anthem and see how it performs for them, how it performs on their computers and whatnot. So probably more people on their servers is making it a little bit more rubber bandy than usual. So hopefully that all gets sorted out, but really that was the only issue that I ran into. Now, another difference between the VIP demo and the public demo, and this is something that a lot of people were actually asking about, is how many Javelins you could play. Now, in the demos, you always start at level 10 and you start off as a ranger. Now, during the public demo, you're starting off as a ranger, and then you can choose one of the other 3 javelins to play. So you're locked in at 2 if you just started the public. Now, if you were a part of the VIP demo, also known as the loading screen group of death, you were actually had all javelins unlocked about 30 minutes like up to the ending of the last demo. So you're like, you gonna give us 30 minutes with all of these? Go fuck yourself. That is rude. But they actually went ahead and carried those javelins into the game today. So I've actually been able to play all of the javelins, and they actually went ahead and carried over all of your progress as well. Now let me make note, and this is one of the things that I really do want to spotlight because this kind of makes me excited. I hate to drag in any other game into this, but as you guys know, in Warframe, a lot of the frames do feel a bit samey. Like, let me turn on this one ability that makes me near invincible, and then I'm gonna go in melee and kill everything with that. Or even some Warframes that are just like, I'm just gonna spam my 4th ability and just kill everything straight out of the gates. Those kind of Warframes do exist, and they do feel very, very samey. However, when it comes down to the javelins, oh, they all play very differently. I was loving my interceptor life. The ranger I was just okay with, but I love dashing and being speedy and just kind of like taking out targets and doing all the melee. And then I tried the Colossus, and I was not very good with that at all. That was really, really rough. It was a bit of a learning curve, but I have learned to love the big lug. Like, now my favorite thing is just to like dash into a group of enemies with my shield, knock them back, and then do some like shield bashes. I'm like, bitch, you dead! And it feels so freaking good. The one class I cannot play, and it's weird because, you know, in Warframe, you can pretty much play any frame. Like, it's not difficult to kind of like adjust there. But with this one, the Storm, y'all, I tried. My heart hurts. I know some of y'all are gonna read me in the comments, how are you not able to play the Storm? Oh, it's painful. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I tried it. It was just not something that I could play. And that's how like different they are, where it's just kind of like, I can't even go there. It's so different. So that was definitely fun. If you're curious at all about any of these, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe I'll do like individual videos on them and how I feel about them. But that pretty much does wrap up the differences between the 2 demos. So let's go ahead and jump into how these demos are actually going to differentiate themselves from the main game. Now, as many of you guys know, one of the big issues is that these demos are actually 6 weeks back, and there are about 1,000 bug fixes that they've already implemented into the game that going to be there at launch. Now here's the issue for me. I'm like, why you gonna give us a 6-week-old demo that's hella buggy? Like, you got lots of bug fixes? Put it in the demo. You want to put your best foot forward, right? Now I'm actually going to go ahead and toss a link to the tweet that references all of these differences so that you guys can take a look at it yourself. But Mark Dara, which I think he's like becoming my favorite Bioware employee. He's just spilling the tea left, right, and center. But Bioware Mark says that number 1, it starts in the middle, which is a good thing to point out because as I was playing the game and I was talking to chat, I didn't understand what lore was whatsoever. I did not know what's going on in this world, why certain things happened in the story quest that did. I was like, what the fuck is an Anthem? Why don't you tell me? That's what the game is named after, and I don't even know what it is. So I'm sure you're gonna get more of a backstory on the actual game itself when you actually start it from scratch. So keep that in mind. There are no tutorials in the demo, which also, now that I think about it, is probably a bad idea for a demo, right? You want people to know how to play, but you know, no tutorials. They will have tutorials in the actual game itself, I'm assuming, I'm hoping. Another one that a lot of people have been asking me about is the pilot picker. Are you going to be able to customize your Lancer? Now, the Lancer itself, they did say that we were not going to have as much customization with that. Like, I'm assuming it's going to be like, pick your hair, pick your face, move on, but it's not going to be like, I'm going to be able to like change the shape of my eyes and tweak my eyebrows and change the colors of this or that, or like my skin tone or all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming that that's not going to be a big thing we're going to see a lot of. They did say that the pilot picker is actually going to be a lot more simple than customizing our javelins. So a part of me is like, okay, we're just gonna have to kind of give into that. And actually, I got to see my pilot's face for the first time, because you don't really get to see your pilot's face very much at all in the city. You're all first person. But in the little Colossus animation, which you might have seen at the very beginning of this video, and you get to see your little face, I was like, oh, interesting. So we will get a pilot picker in game. Just don't expect too much of it. The next thing that they moved on to is that balance is going to be quote-unquote super different in the game. So Mark actually went ahead and kind of extrapolated on this. He said that the demo is easier in general. Now, I have to say that I'm very, very happy about this because when I first started out, pardon me by the way, I just had some Coke Zero. But when you first start out, you start out on easy, and you know the game is pretty much just a normal hack and slash, nothing too crazy. Then you get to normal, and you know enemies start hitting you a little bit harder, and it's a little bit harder to take them down. And that's totally fine and dandy, but between normal and hard, I didn't feel like there was as much of a difference. In fact, in the footage that you're gonna see up there, the Colossus that I'm actually playing only has 2 rares and the rest of his stuff is green. Now, blues are rares, greens are like uncommons or something, and they say that hard, you are required to have a bunch of rares. Like, you should all be decked out in rares if you want to play on hard mode. I didn't actually have to do that, and I think that I might have only died once. I don't think that I died at all, but I might have died once during this. We'll see in the footage. But legitimately, it's nice to know that they're actually going to be upping the difficulty just a little bit more, because that's definitely the thing that's been drawing me to play the Stronghold over and over again. And we'll actually go ahead and get into a discussion about like end game stuff later on. If you guys want to have a video about that, toss that in the comments. So the balance is going to be different. The next thing we're going to be chatting about is they said that the economy is going to be completely different. Now, as you guys know, there was an image that was leaked out from the in-game store. And as you guys had probably seen, a lot of people have been chatting about, is that it looked like each of the skins was going to cost 20,000 shards. Now, straight out of the gate, a lot of people were saying, oh my god, it's going to be $20 a skin, it's going to be $20 a skin. My issue with this is, I didn't see anywhere on that image, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't see it. Maybe there were additional images that I didn't get to, you know, view as well, but legitimately, there was no place saying that $1 was equal to 100 shards. So a lot of people were jumping to the conclusion that it's going to be $1 for 100 shards and that it was going to be a $20 skin, but because of the fact that at least I didn't see where that was equating to, that, you know, it was on the screen somewhere. So a part of me is saying that, and also the devs came out and blatantly stated that those are just numbers that they stuck in there, that those are not actually the finalized numbers in the game, that they're going to be tweaking things. So keep in mind that the economy is different, and also one of the things to note is that all of the customizations supposedly are going to be able to be purchasable with in-game currency. So it's not purchasable currency that you buy, but in-game currency that you'll actually be able to earn. How much that's going to be, I have no fucking clue, but I don't think anybody does, because the economy is going to be completely different. Now, moving on from that, they did say that there is going to be one story arc, which is going to be the main story arc that's going to kind of take you across all of this, which I'm very fond of because, listen, Rob's brain can't keep up with enough. There were like some side characters that were going on during the demo that I did really, really like, but I don't know how it all ties in, so please, Bioware, help me out. Let me know what the hell is going on. Now, moving along from that, they said that mission/stronghold/free pay balance will be off. So, the biggest thing that I want to make note of here is free play. So, I'm very excited for the things that they said were going to come to free play. Now, of course, this is just things that they've said. This is not actually things that were implemented in the demo, so I'm optimistically cautious. I heard you say it though, that the free play zones were going to feel much more alive, that there was going to be a higher concentration of enemies there, because in my previous video I did say that I felt like free play was a little too open world and it was a little too dead. So they said that there are going to be more enemies, that the events that are going to be happening in the world are going to happen a little bit more, and more importantly, there are going to be massive world bosses that you would be able to fight there. Now, I don't know what they mean by massive, like a building massive, or are you talking about like 2-3 of me massive? Because that's very different. 1 story versus 6 story, I don't know. But regardless, they're supposed to be very, very challenging, and they're supposed to be very fun, so hopefully we get to see that in game. But I'm looking at you because I heard what you said and I'm gonna hold you to it, okay? Because free play right now feels a little underwhelming. Mission and stronghold stuff though, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna bring to that. And then the last thing that they mentioned was a less nuanced PC controls. Now, this Y'all know that when I first started out, flight was a pain for me. I was crying, it hurt, but even more so was the swimming. The swimming was terrible bad. However, it does feel like in the VIP version, it feels, or in the public version, it feels a bit better, but I don't know if that's me learning the controls better or if that's the fact that, you know, I had turned down the sensitivity down to like 15% and 5% respectively. That's just kind of like my current thing on there. I'm kind of crossing my fingers that the PC controls are better because I am definitely a core PC player. So very, very happy about that. The only thing that is not mentioned here, and this is one of the things that I did want to note previous to this, was gunplay. So one of the things that they had stated, and I guess this isn't really like a difference between the main game and the actual demo, but gunplay feels a little bit off. Guns just don't feel very, very powerful. They did state that they wanted to make sure that you're using your Javelin's abilities, and that's going to be your primary source of damage. And that's all well and good. They did say that masterwork components and masterwork abilities would have like recharge timers, so you would be able to use your abilities a little bit quicker. Right now it feels like the ability recharges are a little bit slow. You know, I'm like, how you gonna have me spam this ability and me rely on these abilities to stay alive if I can't reuse them fast enough? That's how I'm feeling. And then the gunplay they kind of said was a little bit secondary. I hope they reconsider this and bump up the gunplay just a little bit more because they do feel a little Don't get me wrong, the abilities are fun. There's no better feeling than setting fucking enemies on fire with that goddamn Colossus flamethrower that I love so much. That was amazing. And the shield bashes are great too, but you know, you gotta give some love for the gunplay. There's an interesting article that actually talks about some of the things that we may see in the future of Anthem, so let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see that. However, that does about do it for this video. Let me know how you guys feel. Are you guys currently playing the public demo? If you haven't, definitely go on over to Origin and just go ahead, pick the Anthem demo. You'll be able to download it and you'll be able to jump on in, so go ahead and test that out. If you are already playing, let me know what you feel like is the best thing about it. Let me know what team you're on. Are you Interceptor? Are you Storm? Are you Ranger or Colossus? Because listen, I'm Interceptor, but I'm kind of liking the Colossus life right now. But that does about do it for me for now. And let me point this out because I know some people are gonna be worried. Don't worry, we're gonna get some Warframe stuff to you guys soon. But right now, you know, they had to postpone the dev stream because Rebecca was feeling a bit ill. So hopefully she's feeling better soon, and we get to see all of the cool things that are coming up with Hildren. So definitely wait on that. But regardless, make sure you're following me on Twitch over twitch.tv/agayGuyPlays so that you can go ahead and catch all of the Anthem goodness as well as occasional Warframe goodness too. But as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.